Gamers, it is Wood, and welcome to my guide on the Mavara's Hero's Path. Now, this Hero's Path doesn't actually have a name. They usually give it like a funny name. Like here we've got like Anomalous Titan event. It's like Swordmaster's Hero's Path or something that we got for Leonardo back in the day. But it's just Hero's Path, which is a shame. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, this Hero's Path is going to be necessary if you want to complete the Anomalous Titan event and get the 5-star soul. And we'll talk about what you want to do to get these points and how many sacreds it's going to cost you, as well as how many sacreds it's going to cost you for the perfect soul. But first, let's discuss, is it worth getting the perfect soul for Mavara, the 5-star one? Now, Mavara is a very good champion. It is unclear whether she has complete endgame capabilities right now. There hasn't been enough testing done on her. I haven't seen enough. She's definitely very cool. There aren't many champions that give the buff that she needs to like make the most of her. The newest one and the only one I think that gives it on an AoE, the fervor buff, is Glorious Palace. So if you do have Glorious Palace, I would really look to invest in this champion. But let's actually cover a kit real quickly. Places a fervor buff for 2 turns on a random ally, except for this champion. Allies under a fervor buff have a 50% chance of joining attacks of other allies under fervor buff. Now this fervor buff doesn't need to be placed by her, and the way it works in game is, the way this reads is like every champion with a fervor buff has a chance to join in on attacks. It's not quite like that. The way it actually works from the testing I've seen is every time an ally under a fervor buff attacks, it has a 50% chance to bring in all allies under fervor buff, right? So say your ninja attacks, right, and he has fervor buff, and the rest of your team also has fervor buff, except for Mavara. Mavara never joins in on attacks, but there is a 50% chance that no one joins in and a 50% chance that everyone joins in, and that's much better. Honestly, it's much better than 50% chance individually on all champions, because you could just get unlucky and, you know, your damage dealer will never come in, right? So that's how that works. It's pretty strong. It's like having a full team of Ninja Turtles, but with every other champion in the game. So it's pretty good. Of course, she's a great healer, right? She places a strengthen and an increased resist, which is really useful for Chimera. This strengthen is probably the best damage reduction buff in the game. So combined with the fervor, which also gives you a 10% damage reduction, she's very good at keeping your team alive. And then equalizes HP of all allies. Now, the thing to be cautious about this is you might be thinking, well, the Hallowed Hilt, right? The Hallowed Hilt gives you fervor. This could be a way to give fervor to your whole team, not just with this A1. The Hallowed Hilt doesn't work with equalize effects, which is a bit of a problem. You'd have to run another healer, right? And then, of course, revives an ally with 50% turn meter and 50% HP. It's a pretty standard revive, but then places Perfect Veil on all allies except this champion for 2 turns and places Unkillable on her. This is very good revive. It's going to keep people alive. They're not going to be, you know, your team that's revived can't be attacked by single target attacks, right? It also gives them damage reduction again, so on top of the strengthen, the fervor, and the AoE damage reduction from Perfect Veil, your champions are going to be very, very tanky. And the most important things is these buffs will be placed if no allies are revived. So this is essentially just a 3-turn cooldown, AoE, Perfect Veil on everyone except Mavara, which is really useful. You know, places like Hydra, even in Chimera, this can be useful for certain trials. It's very, very useful. I think Unkillable also is a trial. I think you need to absorb damage with Unkillable or block damage in one of the trials, which is difficult to do, so this could be a potential there. And then, of course, on a passive, for every 8 buffs this team receives, increase their turn meters of all allies by 20%. Now, this isn't important for PvE, but if you're looking to use Mavara in PvP, which she seems to be okay for. I've not seen many people use her just yet. I'm not sure about the power level of her in PvP. The rest of her kit doesn't really lend well to PvP, unfortunately. Increased resist strengthen and a revive. She has no turn meter boost. She has, you know, nothing special about her kit for PvP other than this passive. So it's yet to be seen whether this cut-in effect for your whole team is going to be useful. But it could be, there could be some utility there. And of course, she's got the speed aura in arena battles by 28%, which is really good. So do keep an eye out for this. But the main thing about her passive for PvE, for what most people are going to be using her for, is for every 16 buffs this champion and their allies receive, heals all allies for 20% of their max HP. So Mavara is essentially a really good healer. This heal is going to be going off really often. 16 buffs doesn't sound like easy to get, but she places 2 buffs here. So that's, if you're on a 5-man team, that's 10 10 buffs already. And then she also places 1 buff on everyone here, so that's 15 buffs, and then she's got the fervor on her A1, so that's 16 buffs. So essentially every time she cycles through all 3 of her skills, she's going to give everyone a 20% max HP heal. And of course, this isn't just her buffs, it's other buffs, you know, self buffs from your other champions, buffs from other support champions on your team. So this is going to be going off fairly often. If you have used a Mad Hatter before, where is the fella? Mad Hatter. It's a very similar passive that he has. Every 10 turns taken by allies heals all allies by 20% of their max HP. 10 turns sounds like a lot, but this goes off a lot. He's one of the best healers for long form battles in the game. So yeah, it's a very strong passive. She's essentially going to keep your team alive on her own. Now that we've covered Mavara's kit, does she want the 5-star soul? Now, Mavara doesn't need the accuracy that comes from the soul. The 5-star soul is going to give her, like, I think it's like 80 accuracy. There's a bonus for legendaries. I'll actually check it. Let's not be lazy. No, it's just the 75 accuracy. Just mythicals get the bonus. So it's 75 accuracy for the 5-star soul, which she doesn't need, right? She doesn't place any debuffs, so she doesn't need the 5-star, right? She also doesn't need the 4-star because she doesn't really do any damage. You get crit damage from the 4-star, so it's not that useful. So she's really benefiting mostly from the 1, 2, and 3. Now, one thing to mention is she does place increased resist, so she does like the 5-star soul a little bit because she gets the 75 bonus resist as well. So that is something to mention if you're looking to build a resistance-based team, which is a good idea for Chimera. So the 5-star soul does have a decent amount of value there, but you can get away without it. Building resistance on champions is difficult, but it's not as important as it is if you were to use her in PvP, for example. And you're not going to be building her for massive amounts of resistance in PvP, I would imagine. She's more there for like speed and cut-in effects. There you go. You know, she doesn't have a cleanse or anything like that, so building her for resist is not super important. Maybe if you wanted to protect her unkillable, but then again, you could run Lightning Cage. So yeah, that's what I'd say about the souls. The 5-star soul isn't crazy important for her. So if you're low on shards, you know, you're not that interested in Mavara, this is a totally skippable event. And as I break it down in a minute, we're going to notice that it's quite expensive. For a good reason, it's expensive, but it is expensive nonetheless. Me personally, I'm going to be going for it because I have the Sacreds to do it, and I think the bonus resist is going to be useful for her. And if you have Glorious Palace, I would say definitely go for the 5-star soul, because the synergy there might be crazy good, because she places the AoE further, right? Anyways, let's actually get into breaking down the path itself, and I'll get to you guys in a moment. Okay, so today we're going to be using the website RSLX. I'll leave a link in the description. I think I forgot to do it last time, but I'll make sure I do it this time. This is a great website. It can help you break down fusion paths and Titan events and all sorts of things. It has a bunch of different, I can't see because I've zoomed in, but it's got Heroes Paths, fusions, Titan events, even shows you the history of the game from previous ones. So it's a definitely very useful tool. Helps you plan out for events, right? So I'm going to be using this to help you guys understand what you should be doing for this event. Now, first of all, let's actually see how many points we're going to need to get the 5-star soul. So you're going to need to come down here to grab the key, and then we're going to come down through here to grab the soul. Now that's going to cost you 19 sacreds total. Now, there is a dungeon divers component to this event, so you can maybe cut this down a little bit over the, because it's 4 days long. So let's say 18 sacreds if you're going to do it at the end of the event. Right, which is quite expensive, right? 18 sacreds is an expensive hero's path for like a legendary soul, not a void legendary soul, right? So just beware, it's going to be quite costly. But the reason it's costly, right, is because there are 200 Titan points on the way, which is actually pretty good value, right? So if you're just looking to complete the Titan event, you can just go down this path here and grab yourself the Titan points for an easy 6 sacreds. So that's like the typical amount for, you know, summon rush events. If this was a summon rush than a hero's path, it typically takes about 6 sacreds to grab the minimum amount of points you need, which, by the way, you can skip 250, so skipping 200 here is what I would recommend. I wouldn't recommend picking up any more than 200, but if you want to, you can. Leaves you the option of skipping more events. I'm not going to cover it here, because I recommend you don't do it, but it is an option. So if you're just looking to do points for the Titan event, there it is, 6 sacreds. But if you look at like the total here, right, back to 19 sacreds for Mavara Soul. Typically, a soul for a legendary champion costs about 16-ish sacreds, right? So if you were to minus those 16 sacreds from the 19 that we have here, these Titan points are actually, the actual value, if you're going for the soul as well, is 3 sacreds. Now, that's kind of a deal. That's saving you about 3 sacreds if this was a separate event and a Mavara Soul event. If they had split these points into a different path, and you'd have to pick up them, you know, without going this way and grabbing the Mavara Soul as well, you could be in, like deeper trouble. There's good and bad aspects to this. I would say, for me personally, because I'm going for the soul, this is really great. But for some of you that just want the soul and don't want the points and are skipping the Titan event, which there are reasons why you might want to, and check out the video I made, uploaded just before this one to find out, you're in a bit of a sticky situation. Either way, right, it's pretty expensive. You can mix and match different shards in here, but I'd recommend doing it with sacreds primarily if you can. It's the best value for sacreds, really, is to complete events like this. In the past, I've mixed in voids and sacreds, and ancients, and sometimes primals. Please don't pull primals for these events. Primals are so the only way to get mythicals. I just would not pull a single primal, if possible, for any of these events ever. Wait for 2x primals. But yeah, you can mix in voids, you can mix in ancients. Voids are pretty okay value. They're worse value than they would be for a summon rush or for a champion chase, so I just wouldn't do it. Try and get it all done with sacreds. Now, there are some other rewards in here that we can talk about. While I, again, wouldn't recommend actually going for any of these, you know, you can. I mean, there's a pretty sweet looking avatar frame here, so if you're a Kraken, you can just pick this up, you know. It looks cool. You can go for it. You've got the 666 Eternal Soul Coins here, and then of course there's a few other extra goodies down here. There's only a legendary skill tome, but this Eternal Soul Stone might be something that, you know, spenders might want to be looking to grab. I'm not going to cover all the point breakdowns because frankly I don't recommend anyone actually go for any of this. I recommend you just take the path here to get the key, and then you take the path here to grab the soul. That's all I would do. I think this is the best value for this event. Yeah, I'm going to leave that here. I do want to emphasize, please don't pull all of your sacreds on day one. It's not worth doing. I believe there is a progressive going on. I will quickly cover this. What champions might you want to lock in for the progressive here? Well, yeah, we've got Ziklik. I think Ziklik's pretty good. He's faction unity. This is the only chance you can get faction unities is during progressive events. They don't exist in the normal summon pool, so, you know, you've got this guy. He's very good. He essentially just does a bunch of cool things. I won't cover his kit because he'll be here forever, but he's a decent champion. He's got that speed aura, and he's going to be very useful for your faction crypts, and he's got other uses as well. So I would pull, personally, for Ziklik here. Yeah, that would be the end of it. Please farm the Dungeon Divers event. Please, please, please farm the Dungeon Divers event. I don't make this clear enough, and every time I make these videos, it is so important for you to at least factor in how many points you're going to get from Dungeon Divers before pulling. Never pull the 19 sacreds immediately for the soul and then, you know, get extra points that you're just going to throw into, I don't know, a one Mortal Soul Stone or some rank charms, right? It's such a waste of points, such a waste of sacreds. Please farm the Dungeon Divers event first, or if you're desperate to pull, just pull like 15, right? Pull some, and then save the rest for later in the week, right? And do Dungeon Divers on the way. It is so much more efficient to do this. You get such a better idea of how many points you need. Yeah, I'll let that go, but I think it's really important. If there's anything you take from this video, farm the Dungeon Divers portion of the event first, then pull. It will save you probably a sacred or two. But there you have it. That'll be it from me today. Let me know if you guys are pulling for Ziklik. I will be, but I'll be interested to know. Let me know if I missed anything on this Heroes Path event, if I made any mistakes or anything. I'm always trying to improve my content, so I just want you guys to, you know, give me feedback. I love it. If there's anything wrong with my mic, or if you guys got suggestions on how to improve things, I'm quite new to this stuff, so any advice is helpful. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.